And live. Oops. I think I'm live now. Yes, good evening once again. It's me here once again. It's Noah of Bitcoin, and basically, I shared 30 minutes ago that I'll be going live today, this evening again, on behalf of eBitcoinics.com, just to talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin transactions, the fee structure, why Bitcoin is actually now the fee is actually very high, and why a whole lot of people are complaining about all these things, and the solution, and what you need to know and what you don't need to know about all these stuffs. I'll actually once again, you welcome. We do a whole lot of education. I'm doing this video actually on behalf of eBitcoinics, and eBitcoinics is basically an educational platform where we teach you more about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and we also buy and sell Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, other related e-currencies. Actually, we are one of the largest Bitcoin educational platform in Africa, and this is not the first one. We've been doing a whole lot. Now, once again, you're welcome. I can see my friend Dawit, all the way from Ethiopia, and Philly in South Africa. I have O2, I think, in Ghana or Nigeria. I'm not too sure, but and Upper Samoa, a lot of people. I know this is just getting started. So now, guys, talking about the fee, let's get to understand what a Bitcoin transaction fee actually is, and who determines the fee, and where is the fee actually going to. And that path is what we call blockchain. All right. Now, blockchain is more like the backbone of Bitcoin, and it reacts, or it serves the purpose of a ledger where all records of transaction that has to do with Bitcoin and other related currencies. Let's just talk about Bitcoin, because almost all the other currencies, all the other altcoins we have today also have their own blockchains. So now, blockchain is actually serving that purpose of every transaction that has to do with Bitcoin must pass through that path called blockchain, and that is where transactions are actually validated, verified if this is a valid transaction or this is an invalid transaction. Mind you, don't forget that Bitcoin is very decentralized. When we say Bitcoin is decentralized, it means the power, or the power is not actually mandated to an entity. When we consider our banking industry, for example, the bank is only centralized by maybe let's say the central bank or the government, because they issue the currency we use, and they determine the value of whatever paper currency they issue out to the public. Nevertheless, we are the ones that actually make those issued declaration, or let me say all those declarated papers, we give it value, because we use it to transact, and we accept that this is actually of this value. That is why, for example, when you have a $10 paper, or let me say you have a 100 Naira note, or you have a 10 Ghana cedi note, you could actually go buy items that don't necessarily cost that value or that worth of currency you have. So when you go, they give you a change. That change is like a code. That code, which means they took a portion, in the computerized system, we consider it as a code. For example, you give them a 10 note. I don't want to be specific on the currency, because a whole lot of people are watching from different parts of the world. So now they take a code out of the money, or the value of the money you give them, and they basically balance you with your remaining code, or your fraction of whatever transaction you did. They give you back in another form of a currency. Yes. So now that is what happens. So now all the transaction that has to do with Bitcoin is actually passing through blockchain. And here we are saying it is actually decentralized, which means that the power where that declaration which comes from the government or the central banks is not happening here. Now, when we say Bitcoin is decentralized, it doesn't mean that nothing is actually taking care of the network, or nothing is actually making sure everything is fine, or this is right or this is wrong. It's actually governed by algorithms. Algorithm as in the sense that it's only governed by code and structures. Do this. The computer system is all about that, zeros and ones. If, for example, you do A, you get the results B. You can't bypass A before getting to B. That is how the computer system works. Like, for example, you are using a laptop, or you are using a smartphone, or you are using probably whichever device you're using, and you want to type something, or you want to send somebody a message. You type, for example, my name is Nawaf Bitcoin. The computer does not understand my name is Nawaf Bitcoin. It's all about zeros and ones. So, for example, if the A key has been programmed to understand 0001, that is what it works with. So you, in the face of a user, actually press A, but the computer does not know A. It's all about zeros and ones. And this is an example of an algorithm. So now Bitcoin is decentralized, which we believe is actually centralized by algorithms, but just that decentralized as in the sense that people are actually giving you the power, the community, the network, the system is giving the people behind, or the users of the network or the system, the power to actually be in charge. That is the sort of decentralization we are preaching. So when you have anything that has to do with a Bitcoin asset, it's yours. It's yours, and yours for good. Nobody can ever take it away from you, and nobody can ever think of taking it away from you. You are your own bank, and you are your own bank means that you are in charge. You are in charge means that it's your responsibility to make sure you protect what you have, or you take care of what you have. For example, if you have maybe a $10,000 note, and you decide to do maybe bank, probably save your money at the bank. What happens is you are only giving your money to the bank, and they give you a hope of algorithm, their own system, digits and ones, the same thing, but it's just they give you a form of a liability which has to do with zeros and ones. They just punch in some figures into your bank account, and you are so happy. Probably you give them paper notes, and they give you digits. That is what is happening, but it's not real. They take your money and they use it for something else. So now, when you have Bitcoin, it's the same thing. You use your cash, your paper money that you have to actually grab the asset or the tokens called Bitcoin. Now, when you have it, not like the bank, when you have a bank account, it's the bank's responsibility to actually make sure that your money is safe, and they take care of it wherever. But you can't forever depend on that, because anything could happen, and it's just a hope we have that they're actually taking care of our money for us. Now, when you have Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency, on the other hand, because of decentralization, you completely become in charge over here. You have to make sure you manage it. You have to make sure you take care of it. When you are going to do a transaction, you have to make sure you are there, and nobody is ever going to do that for you, unless probably you share your wallet information to somebody that you can actually trust. So when you have your Bitcoin, you become completely in charge. That is the future of money we are talking about. It's not something somebody takes care of you. Now, you need to understand that Bitcoin is the only technology today in the world of technologies, all right, that has never and can never be hacked. So when you have Bitcoin, you are safe. But as to how to manage your Bitcoin, your account or your wallet is actually your basic responsibility. You have to make sure you are taking care of it as it's supposed to be done, and make sure it is very safe and you don't violate your own privacy rules and stuff like that. So now, when you send a Bitcoin transaction, decentralization is happening, and we are saying it is being governed by an algorithm that has to do with zeros and ones or codes of structures. Now, the moment you send a Bitcoin transaction, it must pass through a path, and that path is what I mentioned as blockchain. Now, when it is passing through that path called blockchain, there should be something that makes sure, hey, this is a valid transaction. This is an invalid transaction. The process of validating, making sure this is a valid transaction, this is an invalid transaction, is mining, or we call it mining. And that has to do with verifying Bitcoin transaction. And miners that are doing these stuffs, like verifying this is a valid transaction, this is an invalid transaction, this is going to confirm faster, this is not going to confirm faster, must be rewarded. And they are the guys that are taking the fee that is paid when you are doing a Bitcoin transaction. Unlike the banking system, or whereby when you do a transaction, the bank says, hey, we are charging you a fixed 5% fee, or a 10% or a 1%, or any percentage you can actually think of. Over here, it's not like that. You know, with the banking industry or the banking sector, the moment they charge you any percentage that has to do with your own transaction, the money goes to them. What did they do for you? Nothing. Probably you only came to deposit your funds, and they charge you for that. You come to withdraw your money, they charge you for that. You want to transact your money out of, like remit your funds out of your country, they say, hey, this is the amount you can do. With your own money, they give you rules, they give you protocols to follow. With your own money, hey, this is the transaction that you can do. You can do this amount of transaction. This is okay, a transaction for you. This is not okay, a transaction for you. Blah, 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 blah. All of these things, they charge you for that. So basically, you are actually working for them when they are doing nothing. Over here in the Bitcoin world or the cryptocurrency world, what happens is the reward that has to do with taking care of our transaction on the path or on blockchain is giving back to the users or the members of the community. So probably your name is Otu, maybe you are in Nigeria, you want to be a part of what is happening within the Bitcoin world and want to actually verify, or maybe be in charge, be able to verify a Bitcoin transaction or whatever that has to do with blockchain transaction, or the transaction that are passing on blockchain. You can actually set yourself up. Everybody can mine or verify or do all these things. This process is very easy. You can do it at the comfort of your home, your bedroom, wherever it is that you can do it. You can just grab your machine, whatever your system, if you understand. We are not talking about that, but everybody can do that. The moment you decide to do that, you must be rewarded. Now, Bitcoin got started, all of us, we know that Bitcoin got started in 2008, but the first Bitcoin actually transaction to be in public was in 2009, but the process of producing the Bitcoin started in 2008. Now, it is becoming more difficult to mine or to verify Bitcoin transactions. And that is why today you see that there are some sort of instances where miners would actually choice out to verify transaction in maybe hash A or hash B that has to do with distributed systems. For example, if I am doing a transaction and I decide, probably I am doing a $10,000 transaction and I decide to add a fee of $2 to my transaction, and there is somebody also in China that is actually doing a Bitcoin transaction as at the same time that I'm doing my transaction, and happens to pay a fee of maybe $0.1, that is 10 cents, and you are a miner, the same amount of Bitcoin floating on the path or on blockchain, and it happens to transaction A, which is $10,000, coming with a fee of $2. Transaction B, which is the same $10,000, coming with a fee of maybe $0.1, which is 10 cents. Sincerely speaking, if you are the one going to do that, which are you going to actually verify? Basically, you're going to choose out the one which comes with a higher fee. And that is what we are seeing today. The whole idea about Bitcoin is how easy or cheap, or let me say freely, it is you and I would be able to transact. And that should be backed up by a cheap transaction, an affordable transaction, and an instantaneous transaction, whereby the moment I send you an asset or funds using Bitcoin technology or the cryptocurrency technology, you should receive it, and there shouldn't be any restriction according to Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper. But right now, what we're seeing is there's been a tremendous change. Even over the week, we saw SegWit being implemented on the Bitcoin network just to improve the system itself that has to do with transactions and the time of maybe confirmations and all that. That is why previously we saw a split which emerged out an altcoin called Bitcoin Cash, all in the name of wanting the good out of Bitcoin community or whatever, which makes sense or it does not make sense depending on where you are coming from. The whole idea of Bitcoin is for you to be able to transact with me, or for me to be able to transact with you, or any other person I want to actually transact with, and the process should be like me sending you an email or any instant message. You know, the moment I send you a message, it should be like, boom, you receive it. Right? Like it's decentralized almost instantly. The moment I send you a transaction, it should be like that, and it should get verified within the fastest possible time as possible. It used to be like that, but hey, not anymore. But yes, so all these confusions are happening, but people are actually trying to compare some, sorry to say, shit coins or any coin that has nothing to do with where Bitcoin is actually heading to, and trying to actually say this is the best or that is the best or this is Dambi or whatever. Now see, today when you check on Coin Market Cap, you can also visit the website www.coinmarketcap.com. You will realize that one Bitcoin price is actually trading or selling for more than $4,500 right now as I am doing this video. Bitcoin price is selling for $4,551.16. And today, after the implementation of SegWit or segregated witness, which has something to do with the improvement of the previous backlogs or transaction logs we had, whereby you could even pay maybe more than $3 fee for a $1 transaction you are actually doing. It makes no sense. But then we've seen a couple of improvements. Today, you could do maybe a $10,000, $6,000, a $5,000 transaction, even on blockchain.info wallet, and you could pay like 28 cents or 26 cents, less than even 50 cents, and it's reasonable. Guess what? You walk into your bank and you are like, I want to do a $5,000 transaction. Like, I want to remit funds outside of my country. I'm sending funds to maybe country B or zone A or zone B, and you expect them to charge you 28 cents or $2, or it makes no sense. You know, you have to pay more than 5%, between 3 to 5%. Sometimes, if you're not lucky, you go to above 7% and even 10%, depending on your country. They are just ripping you off. And yes, so people are complaining that Bitcoin transactions are actually expensive or are so high, and a whole lot of stories, and that is why we have to actually come up with this video. Now you consider, let's just compare Bitcoin to Ethereum. Ethereum happens to be the second best cryptocurrency in the world today, with a very higher, a huge market cap. The total circulating supply of Ethereum right now is over 94 million Ethereums that is in circulation. The total number of Bitcoin that is circulating today is like 16.5 million out of the 21 million. Ask me Ethereum, the 94 million plus, out of what? I don't know, because they can always come up with new Ethereum tokens. That is how smart contract works. So I don't even go there. But then the whole comparison has to do with the fee structure. Now, right now, one Ethereum is selling for less than $400. That is around $380 as at the time this video is being made. which is on the 30th of August 2017, and the time right now here in Ghana is 9:34 p.m. Now guess what? If you are doing an Ethereum transaction right now, it costs you like 16 cents, all right? 16 cents for any transaction you want to do, whether it is $1, whether it is $100, whatever, between 16 cents. The higher the volume, probably we will see some changes. And guess what? Just one piece of Ethereum over the 94 million Ethereum in circulation, you are paying just 16 cents. And you think it is very cheap. Now, Bitcoin is only 16.5 million circulating right now as we speak. As this video is being made, 16.533775. All right. And one Bitcoin is actually selling for 4,551. And you are paying a fee which is less than 50 cents, and you are saying it's expensive. So imagine the price of Ethereum gets to $4,000. The 16 is also going to multiply itself by maybe a 0 or 2 zeros probably, because it is nowhere near the market volume of Bitcoin right now. And Bitcoin is just 50 cents, and you guys are saying it's expensive to transact with Bitcoin. Yes, of course, it is significant because there are some transactions to do with Bitcoin that you pay more than $5. That was previously. It has to do with previous Bitcoin transactions. Today, there is an improvement. Guys, this is just an algorithm, okay? Let's say 8 years ago, you used to transact with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin, you paid a fee of maybe 10 cents or even 0.001 unit of Bitcoin as at that time. Ask yourself the market value of Bitcoin as at that time also. It was nowhere near what it is right now. So if you were paying a fee of 10 cents, and now Bitcoin price is more than 4,500. So the Satoshi unit against the current market value of Bitcoin, you definitely know there should be a change. Of course, it is making some businesses tough, and some individuals are trying to like change their mind up. Forget it. You are not going to get the best as Bitcoin is anyway, unless you use a POS system, a proof of stake, not even smart contract. For a proof of stake wallet or coins, we know that it's just figured out as a certain ratio. They could say, maybe, for example, if you want to transact maybe eBitcoinics coin, the fee to that coin is 0.000 something. It doesn't matter what the price is or whatever. And these POS coins can't go beyond setting because of their market, because even the marketing aspect of those coins sometimes is a problem. We have seen interesting technologies that are coming up that is combined with different blockchain technology, something like the IOTA network, something like the new economy movement, that is the name, the XAM network. Even these guys are all having their blockchains entirely together, whether they are smart contracts, whether they are hybrid contracts, whatever it is, wherever they are coming from, they also have their own technologies, and every system has its own protocol that is actually following right now. Got it. So now we know, we believe, and we are very sure that Bitcoin is also going to be more cheaper to transact as more implementation or more technologies are being locked down in it. And we've seen that over the week. Last week, for example, should you decide to do a $5,000 transaction or $1,000 transaction, trust me, brother or sister, you would pay more than $10 if you want it to be confirmed as fast as possible. And now it's back down again. Even if you're going to do a $20,000 transaction and you are paying $1 or $2, I think it's reasonable enough, and it's so cheap. You're not going to get anything like this anywhere. You understand? And some of these things that causes has to do with the competition, that has to do with miners, the reward, and more information that has to do with they are also doing businesses. People won't invest huge amounts of money into mining or validating transaction, and you expect them to go out on a loss, because by the end of the day they are investing so much into electricity. By the end of the day they are also investing so much into internet packages just to make sure they are actually doing what you want for them. You understand? And also one thing also is that personally, I've done a lot of surveys that has to do with the transaction, even comparing it to some other amazing technologies or some other amazing cryptocurrencies out there, and I still think that Bitcoin is still the best. Yes, I think Bitcoin is still the best, and there is nothing that is actually being compared to Bitcoin right now. Now, if you are using, for example, a wallet A, you don't have to limit yourself. This is one thing you need to note. Even if it means you should write it down. If you are using a wallet, for example, blockchain.info wallet, and you happen to pay more in fee as at the time you are transacting, and you have the chance to actually use a different wallet, please do it. It is transaction we are talking about. Always make sure that whatever it is, at the end you should win, not the system wins. So if you are doing maybe eBitcoinics is having a wallet, or blockchain.info is having a wallet, or Coinomi is having a wallet, Coinbase is having a wallet, or let's say local Bitcoins is also having a wallet, and you are transacting with a wallet like blockchain.info, and you are paying like $5 for a $10 transaction, my brother, run away from it. It's not compulsory. Go check out on some other wallet. If there is a wallet that is even giving you a fee of $1, or giving you that privilege to actually set up your own customize your own fee, and you are comfortable with that, go for it. Sometimes some of these wallets have average fees for average timings. For example, they will tell you this amount of fee is actually going to have your transaction verified in this amount of hours or minutes. So if you are comfortable with 1 hour, if you are comfortable with 30 minutes, you are comfortable with 2 hours, 3 hours, 8 hours, 24 hours, and you think you're okay with that, just go for it. Don't limit yourself. That is one thing you also need to understand. You can always set your fee. You can customize it as long as you are comfortable with it. Do not limit yourself. That is one thing. Don't depend on the fact that maybe Noah Bitcoin is using a Jazz wallet, or Noah Bitcoin is using a blockchain.info wallet, so everybody should use. No. You have to do your own researches. You have to do your own comparisons. You have to make sure you are okay before you fall into it. So if a wallet is actually charging you a higher fee and you don't like it, you can stop using that wallet. That is one thing. And this has an effect. This actually happened to have some sort of effect on the entire community, because gone were the days when you could write articles, okay? After writing articles, you could just leave your Bitcoin wallet address on the article, and you will see nice individuals, good-hearted individuals, soft-hearted individuals tipping you for whichever content you come out with. And now it's there, because imagine somebody wants to tip you a dollar, okay? Maybe just $1. And the person is paying a fee of $2. Basically, he would change his mind. If you come up with any good reads, anything I enjoy reading, and I want to tip you, and it's going to cost me more than the amount I'm actually going to send you, I have to change my mind. And then you have to be very careful. There are smart deals out there that know how to actually, because of the difference in wallet that we have, they could actually send a Bitcoin transaction, all right, without a fee. And any transaction that is actually sent out without a fee, look at a scenario like this, okay? I am mining, or I invested into the machines to mine Bitcoin because I want to enjoy the reward. Bitcoin has been designed in the sense that every 10 minutes, somebody verifying a transaction on the path called blockchain should be rewarded. And maybe we are all going on to that because we want to enjoy the road. And maybe an individual, a smart individual, sent a transaction with no fee. Who is actually going to verify that transaction? It makes no sense. So some individuals are able to be very careful with this. Take note of this and share this with your friends, your business partners. I don't care which business you are doing, whatever it is you are doing. As long as you are communicating the right information, giving people value, just make sure you do it. Somebody sends a Bitcoin transaction with no fee. It will forever not be verified. And Bitcoin is sense that after 72 hours, any transaction that is actually not verified should be reversed back to sender. There are some smart individuals in Nigeria, the US, Canada, China especially, and that are able to actually, they know, and they know there are rookies or novices around the world that don't understand. So basically they send you a transaction, and this transaction could be there waiting for verification. First day, second day, third day, fourth day, the transaction is missing out, and everybody start crying. It's only because the transaction came with no fee. And any transaction that is coming into your wallet with no fee, my brother, my sister, it's never going to get verified, and that would be reversed back to whomever sent you. So in case any day you wake up and a transaction is missed out in your account or your wallet, kindly go back to the one who sent you the Bitcoins. And that is one important thing you need to know, because nobody is actually going to invest resources into any non-profitable business. Everything in the world is strictly business. Yes, it's strictly business. You understand? And one thing also I've realized that this has actually affected is the fact that a whole lot of people are getting involved with Bitcoin because of what we are preaching. How cheap a transaction could be, and how affordable it is to actually transact Bitcoin, and how instant it is to actually remit funds or value around the world with no, a borderless transaction with no third party wherever. And imagine you send somebody a transaction and it's taking you long hours to have that transaction verified. Basically, you are going to be pissed off. And I want to use this as an opportunity to let you know that that is only temporal. What you used to enjoy with Bitcoin is actually coming back. And today we've seen such things happening already. You understand? So guys, all these scaling issues, stuff that has to do with technicality, stuff that has to do with a non-technicality stuff, as long as it is Bitcoin, sometimes we have to be technical, because technology itself is technical. So you have to just enjoy some of these things. But then I try as much as possible to bring it down so that everybody that is actually so new to this industry will get to understand the information we are communicating out. So now, guys, I don't want to spend so much time as usual. And we are doing this on behalf of eBitcoinics. You can check on our website, eBitcoinics.com. That is, we sell cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, PayPal, Perfect Money, and all that. As you can just check on our website, eBitcoinics.com. And we also have an e-learning portal, eBitcoinics.net, where you could actually take a course on Bitcoin, cryptocurrency technology, the blockchain technology itself, entrepreneurship, and so much more, and even crypto trading. Those that want to actually become their own bosses trading cryptocurrencies. Guys, I will do a video on crypto trading, but I won't be doing that alone because I have a special team that I'm working with, and probably we'll think of a webinar together. But I'll be coming up with a whole lot of stuff that is going to be of help to all of us as long as this industry is winning. If you are not involved with Bitcoin, fine, that is okay. We are not asking you to be a part of Bitcoin, but we want to be very comfortable with what we are communicating to you, that it will get to a time you'll be forced to, and that time coming is only going to be like you end up becoming purely an end user. Earlier today, we saw Bitcoin actually on the front magazine of Forbes. Imagine Forbes talking about Bitcoin. Imagine CNN talking about Bitcoin. Imagine Al Jazeera talking about Bitcoin. Imagine the founder of Microsoft, Bill Gates, talking about Bitcoin. Imagine the guys behind PayPal talking about Bitcoin. Imagine the guys behind Google talking about Bitcoin. Everybody is, almost all the smart, most powerful individuals in the world are all talking about Bitcoin. So if you are there and doing nothing because you think you don't understand, that is your problem. All right, that is your problem. Look at where you are living or where you are staying today. 30 years ago, if you were actually asked to invest in your current place, you would probably say no because it's a bush or whatever that has to do with what you don't like. Reasons all the time, excuses. Yeah, but it's our choices. It's coming. Yeah, it's already here. Bitcoin is so new. 9 years, like more than 8 years. It's not a joke, but a lot of people think it's so new. Yes, we agree it is so new because you don't understand it. That is fine. But it's not new because in the world of technology, anything, it's more than 8 years and you're still thinking it's new. That is fine. That is your problem. But mind you, it's going and it's going viral. Bitcoin is always going mainstream, and you just decide to actually hedge your assets into Bitcoin and just have some peace of mind. So I want to see. I'm going on my wall on Facebook via my laptop to actually check that if there is any question that I need to actually attend to, because that is the most important thing, knowing that people are actually watching you and there are questions that you need to also attend to. Let me see the comments that are coming in. I think great. You said doing a great job. Yeah, thank you, bro. You're also doing great. I really appreciate the fact that you're also watching. So now I want to see if there is any question on this video. If there's no question, then I just go offline. Yeah, I know Sundu, James, watching live. Hey, Ryan, that's my bigger boss, my crypto boss, Ryan Conley in the United States. I say hello to you, bro. And I want to see. Yes, William Sopoku is asking if eBitcoinics.com we accept mobile money. Yes, in Ghana and Nigeria, when you are buying, we accept mobile money. And you can also come to our office for cash. You can come with your cash and actually pay with cash and stuff like that. So, Obina, I see you guys. Well, Frank, Nick, Okanta, I see you, bro. Thank you so much. I couldn't have been able to do this without you. And I have my good friend Anastasia, all the way, I think, in the United States, watching this. Well, actually, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm just going through the comments to see if anybody got a question for me. And Joseph Kwame, yeah, bro, you're also doing a great job. Thanks for watching. And I have Wangeshi, all the way from Kenya. So, guys, I think since there is no question, it's like everything that has to do with the comments coming up here are all compliments, and everybody just trying to acknowledge what we are doing. We also appreciate you. Let's not take so much time, and I think the next video is going to be centered on maybe I think we will use a week to do a lot of topics that has to do with cryptocurrency trading and understanding the market and how to be a silent trader or whatever that has to do with your portfolio. So guys, thank you so much. Do not waste time. If you don't understand Bitcoin, go to Google. All right, go ask your questions, whether it is a silly question, whether it's an interesting question. Just go, you get an answer. Make sure you learn this technology because this is the future of money. The future is right now. It's not tomorrow or maybe the year after or whatever. It's already happening. We see the present to be the future because if you look at what has happened to money as years coming back, even there are some countries that when the ATM system was there, the ATM technology was actually introduced, a whole lot of people were so skeptical and like, I should put my money on a card. I lose this card, I lose my money. Boom. It happened, especially even here in Africa. And today, nobody can do without it. We've seen technologies, mobile money payment systems that are actually coming up and all that just because of the present of technology. And the future is where we would actually delete the bank, the government, and we the people would always actually have the power. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you some other time. And as I said, we'll be doing a lot of trainings on security, trading, on the market, and everything that has to do with Bitcoin. Guys, watch out. We are coming big time, and this is just the beginning. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your day. All right. Bye-bye.